Good evening, and welcome to another hypothetical version of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. Now here's your hyperbolic and hypersensitive host, Voice of Doom. Hello. I'm back, and apparently the Earth is still in existence. Didn't see anything in the news about this so-called asteroid, but apparently it came and went, so I don't know. But don't have to worry too much about that. That would be just great if we got hit by a object from outer space. Meteor, comet, asteroid. That's just all we need. But things are going to go bad anyway. Now I'm going to start on my ambitious trilogy on Doomology. And this will be probably the most difficult one because it is titled Doom the Probable. And that's the hardest one because the other two installments will be much easier because it's all going to be conjecture. And parenthetically, I want to apologize for my last diatribe. I don't know what happened with the sound. I think I turned up my mic too much. And I really don't know what I'm doing, so sometimes they're going to turn out bad, but I want to keep them anyway instead of doing it over. But Doom the Probable. Now, what's the possibilities that are very much probable in our future? And by future, I mean the next few months. Well, spring is here, even though it's kind of got a light snowfall outside today on the 26th of March. But that is what we put up with in Carson City. I've seen it snow on Mother's Day, so I wasn't really surprised to see a light dusting of snow tonight. But aside from that, spring is here and summer's around the corner. Now, people tend to drive more in spring and summer for obvious reasons. They go on vacation. They're not hunkered down in their house because the snow is 3 feet tall and they don't feel like driving. So it's just a natural phenomena that people drive less in the winter. Ergo, the price of gas is reasonably low. But you see, we've gotten used to gas prices being in the high $3 and low $4 range over the last year after the spike came down. But it is obvious that the gas prices will go up again, and they're going to go up from an already high level since Orange Juice left office, and since Petri Dish is bound and determined to cut off all of our energy supplies, including lithium, which we need for his so-called electric cars. So I think it's very probable that gas will be in the $6 to $7 range again, and that's going to cause a lot of trouble because you need gasoline to drive the trucks to bring the goods. You need gasoline to drive the trucks to bring the food to the restaurants. They raise their fees and prices and delivery fees commensurate with the gas prices. Now, we've already had a little dose of hyperinflation over the last year thanks to Petri Dish's brilliant economic policies. But what people don't seem to realize is it's not coming down. Contrary to Janet Yellen's prognostication that this time of inflation will be transitory and very short, No. It's going to stay at the level it's at, and then it's going to go up again. And it's going to have a snowball effect. If anybody that understands economics with any kind of acumen at all knows that as gas goes up, prices go up, wages go up, maybe. And it's just a snowball effect of more and more inflation. And we've never seen hyperinflation such as we're about to see. So that's a probability that I can pretty much assuredly tell people will happen. Now, what are they going to do about this economy business? Because $30 trillion and rising, there's no sign that they are going to do anything to try to even balance the budget, let alone stop the hockey stick. If you study economics a little bit, you realize that we've had trillion-dollar deficits for the past bunch of years now, and they're going to continue to be trillion-dollar deficits. So it's just going to go up and up and up. It's untenable. So it's very probable that they're going to surprise us in the next 2 or 3 months with a new system of economics called digitized money. Everyone's afraid of it because that means that they're going to have to keep doing what they've already been doing, using their card to buy everything, having their paychecks put into the account automatically, and then use their card for everything. And there will be fees attached. I used my card today to buy gas because I didn't want to go in and pay cash. I was just in a hurry. I just wanted to stick my card in and buy some gas, and it said there will be a 35-cent surcharge. And I pressed OK because I was kind of in a hurry. So they're nickel and dime us until nobody has any money. But digitized money, it's already happening. It's just a matter of a few more months before they get rid of solid currency, paper and coins. They already got us ready for it 3 years ago. All of a sudden during the pandemic there's a shortage of change. Why? Why is there a shortage of change during the pandemic? They just ran out of pennies and nickels and dimes. Come on. So they were just getting us ready for that, and it's going to happen. By May or June, there will be a totally new form of economics in which they will hide that $30 trillion using some nefarious scheme and start a whole new thing. They'll probably make the money back from the 35 cents that everybody has to pay every time they use their debit card. So that's obvious. What's another probability that will foreshadow our doom? See, it's very hard because I'm trying to, be realistic. I like to think of the logistics of doom. I don't just like to say there's going to be a big, huge atomic bomb and everybody's going to run amok and they're going to loot everything and they're going to loot the grocery stores and Walmart, and they'll have to, board up those stores and start doling out food to people with trucks, with care packages. That's more in the lines of possible, not probable right this minute, but possible doom, because food is a very touchy commodity all through history, and I've already done diatribes. Go back to Hunger Games, go back to other things, and shortages of food has caused unrest. It causes the mobs to rise up and get real serious about making sure somebody's heads roll. And I think that's a very distinct probability that there will be food shortages because they've been destroying food processing plants, they've been destroying chicken farms, they've been destroying egg farms. I heard a chocolate factory got blown up Yesterday, a few people died. They don't know how it blew up. But it sounds like sabotage, and it sounds like if they're getting around to blowing up chocolate factories, then, they've run out of things to blow up. But there are people, I don't know if they're people per se, but there are beings, entities on this planet who embody a human form that are bound and determined to destroy our infrastructure. There's entities that want to curtail growing food for whatever reason they may have. And that's going to contribute to inflation too, because if you have less of something, it costs more. That's obvious. Another probability, which doesn't really have anything to do with doom, but I'm very sure that with all the hearings from the goppers in the Congress, and they're going to get to the bottom of everything, and people are going to be held accountable. No one's going to be held accountable for anything, ever. I can say that with almost 100% assurity, that not one person is going to be held accountable, because to hold anyone accountable would mean that you have to expose the whole system as a fraud, as a corrupt, ineffectual organization used to enrich certain people. So I don't care if you're in Congress and you're a freshman and you are all wide-eyed and bushy-tailed and excited to get into the government so you can help to get to the bottom of everything. You will be absorbed by the system, or you will be cast out through any means necessary. Now, Petri Dish will serve out his term. I don't think there's going to be an election in 24, and he may not serve out his term as we understand it, but they're not going to impeach him because there's too many crimes. So how are you going to impeach him? Where do you start? So they're just going to leave that alone, because it's just going to cause nothing but division in everybody. And I will say that division is a very probable factor when it comes to our doom, because we're more and more divided and everything's more and more insane, and there is going to be backlash. There are going to be people who are somewhat sentient saying we can't have any more of this wokeism in general, and there's going to be backlash, and that will create schisms, and that will create a situation where certain people are saying you're a hater, you're a phobe, because you don't go along with our program, and the other side is going to say you're insane and you shouldn't even be allowed outside. You should be incarcerated in a mental institution and left there. So there's going to be disagreement there, I can assure you of that. So I didn't really say a whole lot, and as I think of more probable things that will happen to expedite our doom, I will probably move on from the probable to the possible. And that's going to be much easier because anyone can come up with possibilities. Anyone with an imagination. Anybody who's watched movies can think of many things. I think it's probable that there will be another pandemic, and people are going to be really pissed about that. I just can't imagine how people are going to react when powers that be suddenly say we have to shelter in place again. I don't think people are going to want to do that. And I don't think that people are going to want to jump on the bandwagon of a new remedy and stand in line for their free beer in order to get it. I think they're going to say, been there, done that, we're not going to believe you, and it might be a real pandemic this time. There will be garbage trucks going around the streets picking up dead bodies, just like the Stand. But I'm not going to say that's probable, but I think it's very much a possibility that there will be a pandemic soon, because they've been gain of function everywhere and they're not very careful. These laboratories are being run by boomers and Xers, and they don't have any brains. I know for a fact. I grew up with them. So I'll leave it there. I might kind of just keep continuing this. If I think of more probabilities, I will let you know. Now I will go over the possibilities, the possible, and then I will go into the unthinkable. That'll be fun. So you can look forward to that. I'm going to leave it there for now, and thanks for listening, and thanks, Nick, for your comments. I'll talk to you next time. I'll try to plan it a little better. All right then. Have a good one.